Hey everybody, welcome to Beachpreneurs virtual topic table. I'm Kelly McCausey,
I'm Nicole Dean.
and we're joined today by Erika Blackwell of Center of Attention Photography. Hi Erika.
Hi guys.
Hi. I'm just telling people on Facebook we're here.
Multitasking.
I am. I apologize. One more second and I'm done.
So we wanted to have these virtual topic tables because it's just too long in between beach events to not connect with people. And so we invited different beachies who we adore to come and spend time with us and let us ask them questions and get them to spill some of their brilliance. And Erika, thank you for saying yes to coming and being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you want people to know about you? Like just give us the 411 on Erika.
The 411. So most everyone knows I'm a photographer. I always have a camera in my hand when I'm around your peeps. That's the first thing. I'm a mom. I have 2 little boys. They're about to be 6 and 9 in the next couple weeks. So we're going to be birthday party planning. And a lot of you know that I'm Tisha's sister-in-law. A lot of people found out at Atlanta. They didn't know. Beach camp, they knew. Atlanta, they were like, wait, what? By the end, had no idea. It was kind of funny. And I love art, and I love spreading like joy to everyone. Making other people happy, I think, is what makes me run. And I don't know. I think that's all. That's me.
There is so much more to you than that, but that's a start.
That's a start.
Yes.
I like to have fun.
Yeah, you are fun. You bring a lot of fun and joy with you wherever you go, and having you as our photographer at beach camp just really created a whole new experience for people.
Definitely a good time.
Created to a really powerful experience. And so I've experienced you as a photographer, at beach camp, at Exposure and Profit, and then personally, we did a quick photo shoot in Atlanta, and I was blessed to be able to have you come and do a photo shoot with my family last year. That was so fun. And what I was so impressed with is that whether you're taking pictures of a bride or a 3-year-old girl, like you're just so tuned in to who you're taking a picture of, and you create an instant sense of ease. There was never a moment where my granddaughter acted weird around you.
I acted weird around her, so she would look at me. That's what I do. I think I have like a grip. I've been doing it for so long. At the beginning, I was awkward, and I just let kids run around, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do. I can't tell them what to do. And then I got to the point where I was like, I have to tell someone where to look, how to act, like what's going on in your mind has to do with what's going to show up on my camera. And so a lot of times I know Kelly will tell you, I tell you to close your eyes and imagine something. And then when you open your eyes, it's not like you're in front of my camera anymore. You're in the place I told you to be. So I feel like doing that with kids, you can't be like, oh, close your eyes for a second and pretend like you're at Disney World. Like you have to play and say like, grandma's got something in her nose or whatever, because then she's going to look right at your face.
That's good.
Yeah. Little tricks of the trade.
Aww. So, gosh, Nicole, do you have something that you want to ask Erika? Because I could just go on and on.
No, I just want to know, where you want to head with this. Do we want to talk about pictures, editing, pictures for social media? What you thinking?
Well, and yeah, Erika, you had a plan for me when we did the photo shoot in Atlanta. We had a brief period of time. It was a very full day. And one thing, having had experienced a photo shoot with you before, I didn't have any nerves about it. I knew that all I had to do was bring my body, and you were going to direct me. But how do you know what you want when you're doing a photo shoot with someone? Because the pictures I got from that photo shoot are unlike, other friends talk about going into photo shoots, and they all come home with the same
It's funny because it's true.
So I've gotten to know you, and then I kind of stalk your like Facebook page and your website, and like little things that you tell me. I don't know what goes on with my memory, but my memory is so sharp. I'm lucky in this way. I'm cursed and blessed. But like little things you told me from the first time, how I saw you at beach camp at the body positive shoot, I already knew what you like and what you don't like. And so when I asked you what colors do you have, constantly when I wasn't taking pictures or I wasn't eating lunch or whatever, I was looking around the building. And so you said pink, and I'm like, I know where these pink flowers are. And there's this cool painted wall. And we talked about the arm thing before. You're like, I don't know if I want my arms to show. And then in back of my mind, I was like, we'll just pose you in a way that you like it, So all these things, like I just am constantly paying attention to it, I guess.
How do you help someone who is deeply self-conscious?
I feel like the client needs to be honest with the photographer. Like if it's me or if it's someone else, if you go in and you don't like your nose or you don't like your midsection, you need to tell the person that, because there's ways to either mask it or you just don't do a profile picture. There's all of these things that go into it, and we all have our thing. Everybody has a thing that they don't like. And so I think that being honest will help. Some people might just say, look over there, your nose is constantly showing. And so you need to be honest with the person. And I think you need to be comfortable with them. If you aren't really comfortable around men, don't hire a man photographer. Or if it's a man and they need some pictures in their underwear for some magazine shoot, don't hire a female if that's going to make you uncomfortable. I want to do that kind of shoot, but
I'm thinking that could be a specialty, especially if it's firefighters.
Yes. Let's put together a calendar.
Adds it to our website right after the call. I do firefighters in their underwear.
I think Val can help us with that.
She would. Sorry, Callie, you can't take me anywhere. Go ahead.
I'm thinking we just got a whole new PR campaign for Center of Attention Photography.
Yeah. So some things that, like, running off that thing about being comfortable, I tell a lot of jokes. I try to get silly, because when people are out of their minds, I feel like their shoulders relax, their face isn't so uptight, their foreheads aren't wrinkled, like all these things, like right away. One specific thing was I was taking pictures of Lynette a few weeks ago, and there was a pre-Ken. There was like probably 10 minutes we did without her husband. And then when her husband came into it, he's a silly guy. So I was like, telling Ken to do all of these things behind me, and you should have seen the difference that it made. So I think, too, bringing someone that you trust, that makes you feel comfortable, maybe that will be funny, bring them to your photo shoot. Then you can get funny.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So, and Kathy, Shannon, we do have guests with us in the Zoom room today. Do any of you have a curious question for Erika? We have.
No, I don't think so.
I'm curious about selfies. Like, how do you get a good selfie?
Oh, yes, that's a great question.
So
Seems
the
to be
selfie camera, like when you do the back, the side of the camera that you look at, like the selfie end, that camera is not as good as the other camera on the back of your phone. So I would say either get one of those like sticky, spongy tripods and put it on and like put a timer on it, or have someone else take it of you if you're using your phone. Because it's just, you can never look in the right place in your phone to get a good selfie. The camera's like in the corner and it's not right.
So it's just the ever elusive unicorn. I'm never gonna get it.
Yeah. Because you know when you look in the mirror and you like have it and you're like, I have the look, it looks good, I'm gonna go take that picture, and then you're like, why doesn't it look the same?
Yes.
Like the angle. Yeah.
Well, are there any tricks to getting a better selfie? Because they are part of our lives.
They are. Well, first tip is go to window lighting. Go to natural light. Don't use the house light, because then you're gonna have the under eye shadows. When you use the flash on your camera, you're blown out. Unless you get one of these. I got one of these at Walmart. It's a case, and it's got the light on it, and so I sometimes use that. I can't turn it off now. Oh my eyes. The other thing is on Amazon, if you look for like a little portable light, if you do a lot of video, because I think like a big thing too is you all do videos for your clients and for your pages and stuff. So if you get one of the LED portable lights, it looks like a little cube and there's all the row of the lights on it. That's looks like natural light, most of them now. They're like $30 or less than that. And so I would get one of those and then put it above your face. So you want it to be more than eye level above you, so that you're kind of looking up towards it.
You don't want to do the thing like you do at camp where you have the right under your chin. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the audience.
I have one of those. I have a portable light, and I can change the brightness.
Yep.
Um,
And I can tell it's above your face.
Yep.
Yep.
I can switch between a warm light and a cool light, and a mix. The mix seems to look the best.
I like the mixed.
Because my back is to the windows, so I don't have any natural light on my face over here.
But at least it's not like the big under eye shadows from like the harsh light that comes down. That's what I can't handle that. Or like when it's under your neck and it looks like you have an extra because of the light. Nobody
I
likes
love how
that.
you're like, I can't handle that. Oh my gosh.
How much editing are you doing to a photo?
Depends on what I'm doing. And so for a family, it's minimal. I like to keep things the way it looks. If like a little girl has hair in her mouth, I just take like 20. So we make sure that hair gets out so I don't have to edit that. For a wedding, I make all the lighting look consistent. And then I go through, and if the bride has zits, all the formal pictures, I take those zits off. But at the beginning of the day or at the reception, I don't do that because she's not going to print those pictures.
Yeah.
So I make sure like the ones that you're going to print and put in a book and give to family and friends, like those ones look great. And then like headshots, I do all of those because I don't know which ones people are going to pick. Like if they pick the 3, like most of my packages come with 3 or 6, or they get the whole package of all of the pictures. I just make sure that they all are very consistent looking. So when they're posted, you can tell like that was taken in the same series. Because like when we went in the woods in Atlanta in the secret garden, we named it, it was very green glow. So I had to add like magenta in all those pictures because it was so, the whole circle of that little place was green. So it just depends on where I'm at. Last weekend, I did a wedding, and it was dark super early, and so I had to use flash for the whole reception, even before that a little bit, and so there'll be a lot of editing because I have to brighten things up even more and make sure the bride's everything looks good. Yeah.
There's a lot involved in that, in making somebody look fantastic.
And it helps, like I do an onboarding process now with my weddings. I'm doing a lot more focus because that's where a lot of my income comes. So I'm like putting a lot more effort into weddings. And so I get to know the couple, like even if they don't live around here, like we do a video chat or I will drive to where they are halfway so that we can sit down, because I think if they get to know me and they feel comfortable with me before the day, especially the grooms are not comfortable. They're just like, ugh, you're the paparazzi. Why are you there and there and there? And so if they get to know me and I know, like, you know, are you funny? Are you shy? What makes you smile? What do you love about your bride? Then I'll bring that into the pictures.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right.
Well, the cool thing about having you at Beach Camp is that you are available to do photo shoots with people. You've made it real affordable to do something. You can do, like, you love to do the shoots right out there on the beach. You know what what time of day is the best time, you know, the best lighting and all of that. There was a gal who was sharing on social media this year how she felt that a professional photo shoot was absolutely critical to your branding. And I completely disagree with this particular woman, because her pictures make her look like a Stepford wife. You know,
We don't want to do that.
that
Unless we do.
Unless, yeah. What is she selling?
Yeah. Apparently she loves it, you know. But the interesting thing is she took this stand that the professional photo shoot is super important. And so many people in her community followed suit, and guess what? They all look like Stepford wives too.
Which is what the Stepford wives thing kind of is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I'm not a big fan of like telling people, oh, you must do this if you want to be taken seriously. But I do have to say that since I got the photos with you this year and last year, I am so much more likely to use a photo in my marketing than when I only had my own selfies. You know,
that makes me happy.
the pictures that you took, I'm proud to use them, even though I will admit I still cringe. Like, there's still a cringy moment of now everyone's seeing my whole body. Like, you know, I would still like to, you know.
But did you put that shit in your back pocket?
I did. My shit is in my back pocket in those photos, as a matter of fact.
Yes. Oh, that makes me happy. And you kind of changed your look.
Yeah.
From when I first taking your pictures, you did the turquoise hair, and then I think you were somewhere in between at Beach Camp. And then now you're letting it grow.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's anything I want to take a stand for, it's that, you know, you do have current pictures, for crying out loud. You ever see people on social media and the picture hasn't changed in 15 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, who's this person when you go up to meet them?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some other things I have is nobody is a one-shot wonder. So when I'm taking pictures, you know how many times I'm clicking, because like the first picture, I don't even think I put it on people's galleries. That's like the test image. Like, no one's just gonna smile one time. So even when you're taking your own pictures, your own selfies, like move around the room, like go to this window, go to that window, maybe fix your hair a little bit. It's not gonna be the first shot you take.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So don't give up. Don't see
Don't
that
give
first
up.
one and be like, oh God. You're like, all right, that's my before picture.
That's
And then I'll go from this to this, and oh, that's my after picture.
Yeah.
You know, a selfie, my own selfie trick that I discovered way back when we were first putting our pictures online, before selfies were a thing. I discovered that if I move, like if I just take the picture as I'm moving, I'll get a better picture. There's just something about not being highly focused that made it feel more real and comfortable, you know?
I think you're like, while you're moving, you're thinking about the movement and not the picture that you're taking.
Yeah.
I get that. You're not like frozen like
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Erika, you're going to be at Beach Camp next year too. So anyone who wants to book a photo shoot with you can.
Yep.
And gosh, one of the best things last year was the body positivity shoot. That was a blast.
That was fun.
People who participated in that are so proud of the pictures.
And I feel like even the people who weren't in the shoot that were watching were still having fun, because there was like the balcony up by the pool. People were screaming and like cheering the people who were in the shoot on. Like there was more than you could see going on at that moment.
Yeah.
It was really good. And I didn't know what to expect because we kind of talked about it, but then I was like, I'll be there. Just tell me what time to come out there and we'll do it. And then when we were out there and I asked like, oh, everyone can wear whatever they want, there was a very diverse group of different clothing and things. And I think my favorite thing was when I did the video and we slowed it down.
Yes.
That was so fun.
How about, I know you at Beach Camp, you met with a group to talk about using their photos on social media.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite?
Go ahead.
What's your favorite platform?
Instagram. I like Instagram because it's photo focused. Like everything is around that square box that you see. And the reason I was all about Facebook for a long time, but I just lost steam and I have a ton of followers and they don't see my post. And so I figured out a way is I use the stories more than I use my wall. And so I don't take professional pictures on my story. It's all about what I'm doing at the time so people can get to know me and my family. And I have probably like 500 to 600 viewers per story that I put up. And I only have like 20 to 30 likes on each picture on my Instagram. So I do like the highlight reel. So people too, like that gains a lot of, views, I guess. Every time I go somewhere new. So like when I came to Atlanta and I was at the airport and I went to the Marriott, I would geotag where I was at, and it actually shows you in the geotag who's looking at your pictures and if it's because you're in that area. So I think I gained 10 new followers when I was in Georgia. And then when I was in Florida, I gained a ton just because when I was walking around the hotel, I was telling people to get on and taking, like with Rosie and Melissa, the second I met them, we just took a selfie, put it on my story, went at each other, and then, just picked up steam really fast. And so I would suggest that, it doesn't have to be a professional picture. It just, people care about what you're doing in the moment. And so if you can get these kind of people who are going to look at every one of your stories, they're more apt to come back and, like for me, book a photo session or book their wedding, because I feel like they got to know me through the process of what's going on in that year or 6 months that they've been following me. I don't even know how many Instagram followers I have, but I know people who have Instagram, sometimes like my aunts and stuff, they'll still get on Instagram to see what I'm doing. I don't know how they do it. I think they search me. I have 1,700 followers, and so 500 per story I think is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you get clients from your Instagram efforts?
Yes, I do. And so I also just found out, I don't know if I can put this up in the camera, but I'll pretend like I'm taking a photo. Can you see this right there? On this side of it, this one lady showed these filters that you can actually download for free right on Instagram. And so I downloaded it from her, and it does like the little crackly effect or like the light sphere up above. But you can just download a whole bunch of free filters on Instagram now. I didn't know that. I did it this week. And so she said you should keep consistent, like whether like Kelly is bright and colorful, everything should always be bright and colorful. Or if Nicole, like, she has a thing, like I know she loves the sloths. If she, you know what I mean, brought the sloths to her story, or like something of her brand, if she's
Okay.
constantly, you have it on, don't
Seriously,
you?
like, really?
Yep.
I'm going to yoga after this, so I'm wearing my yoga sloth.
That's awesome. But if you bring that into your, like, everything you're doing, be like, you know what I mean, sloth and proud, or have little
Yeah.
sloth animals, then your people are going to connect just from that fact. And so I used to say all the time, like, something about Starbucks or puppies or whatever,
Yeah,
to keep those people on my side.
you scared me a little bit because I didn't hear sloth, I heard lust. Like, you know, Kelly, you be bright, and then Nicole has a thing, it's lust. And I'm like, where is she going with this? What's my theme gonna be? Sloths, I got it. I'm caught up. Good. Good.
Maybe you're,
Yep.
it's a lusty sloth.
No. That's just so wrong.
That's funny.
Aw.
I also watch a lot of YouTube videos. Like, I keep current with photography things. And so I feel like times change so quickly, and like a trend that's in 2 weeks ago might not be a thing right now. And so I try to stay consistent to me, but like the trending things, like videos are so powerful over pictures right now. Like they say, in the first 3 seconds, if you can get someone's attention with a video, then they'll stay longer, like on your page or wherever they are. And so right now I'm working on, well, not right now. When I slow down a little bit, I'm going to be working on a video for the top of my website, like a behind the scenes of me taking someone's picture, because in those 3 seconds of someone going to my website and they see that video and I gain their trust just by them seeing what I do, then they're going to hire me. And then if they click on the next website or the website before mine and that's not there, they move on to the next one, like, very fast. It's not like what kind of pictures I take anymore, like the style of it. It's more of, do I know her? Do I trust her? You know, it's about me more, I guess, my brand.
So that makes me curious about something, Erica. I know that when you came home from Exposure and Profit last month, you launched into a very busy season of bridal shoots and graduation. Like, I saw a lot of young people. Your schedule has been quite full. Are you at a point yet where you're ready to outsource some of your website care?
Yes. I need to think about that. Like, I wrote down this whole thing on the airplane, like, ride home, like, what I need to do, what are my wants, what are my needs. And I think that, like, having clients for photography is less of a thing that I want to keep doing. Like, I love doing it, but it stresses me out so much because I have to do so much for the prices I charge. And I tried to up my prices in 2018, the beginning of 2018, and I was so slow. It just, people can't afford it around here. And so I put them back down to where they were, and then I got swamped again. So there was no middle point of, like, my old clients were like, you charge too much now, I can't afford you. And the new clients coming in were like, well, your next door neighbor, you know, down the road from you charges this, I'm going to go with them. So I just, you know, I went to where I needed the money. So I have all these ideas in my head about, like, books and tutorials and all of these things. I just need to get done with the 5 weddings that are on my computer right now in 18 sessions, and then it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to outsource the website, but I want to have it like what you're saying. I want to make it so even if I take the pictures, maybe someone's editing them. Consistency to my style, because I hired an editor and it was 60 cents per picture, and it was not what I can do. Like, it's not the same. It wasn't the same at all. So I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The service providers, like in our world, you know, this is the virtual assistant, graphic designer. Shannon's a graphic designer. Like, this is the quandary of how do you scale? How do you charge more? I encourage you to come back to the pricing question, because as you gain experience, and as you as you share more of yourself the way that you do, you will attract more people who are willing to pay the higher price.
I think so too. Lou said something at Exposure. He said it's not the 30 seconds it took to do a job. It's the 30 years that you put into learning the job.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people think like, oh, well, that was fast, or, you know, that shoot didn't take very long, but it took me this long to learn how to do that. And that never occurred to me. I was back there. I was like, oh, yes.
Yes, Lou Bortone is a smart man.
Uh-huh.
What about just small price increases? I mean, people expect those every year. It's not like they would be shocked.
I know.
Because, I mean, I always expect a price increase every year on pretty much everything because things get more expensive.
Yeah, cost of living.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you had just done a smaller price increase in 2018 and then another one, I mean, you'd already be ahead. It doesn't have to be a big statement. It can just be like, hey. Because if I did pictures with you and let's say they were $500 and then I came back the next year for a family picture and they were $600, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to go through all the effort to find somebody else now, you know?
Yeah.
But if it was $1,000, then
I charge, yeah. So for a 1 hour shoot, I charge $350 in my local area, and you get 30 digital images. And so that year I went up to $400 for 30 digital images. Like, you got the same thing, and that's what lost like probably 10 clients. I know. I don't know why.
Yeah,
50 bucks. Yeah, 50 bucks. And so this year I took that 30 down to 20 for the same 350. And then I would tell everyone before they hired me, like, each extra digital image is $10. And that also got them. It was like a surprise to them after they signed the thing. And I've been a lot better with contracts this year, like sending out, you know, the form for them to sign for the model release and the booking agreement. So then it's like, oh, I didn't read that. Well, you should have, because I have your signature here. You know.
There's an interesting thing I've seen. Having a package like you describe a package that's a single hour for $350. If you kept that, the 20 images, but introduce a $500 option, just give it a sexy freaking name.
It's true.
You know, it's amazing the people who come in thinking they're being driven by price, who then get hooked by the sexy approach. And then something happens in their own mind about, oh, well, I want that VIP experience. Like, clearly, I'm worth the VIP experience.
Yeah.
If you give me, like in marketing, we often like to present things in threes with a goal of them taking the middle option. So there's a basic version, a sexy beast version, and a classic middle of the road, and it's designed to sell the middle of the road. You know,
that's what I do with my wedding, but I haven't had like the time to sit down, I guess, with after that happened, I was like, okay, I'm going to focus somewhere else. And so this year has been my biggest wedding, like, seller, because I had like the basic one that if you read the fine print, you can't book on a Saturday. And then there was the awesome one that I'm like, no one's going to book that, but 2 people did. And then I was like, oh, we're going on vacation. That's what's happening here. And then there was the middle one, and like every bride except for those 2 got the middle one, and then the 2 bigger ones. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And so I did that in 2017 for 18. And then the 18 and 19 brides did that. So for 2020, like for the brides that are booking me now, I'm like, oh, what can I do now?
Yeah.
So
I like it.
thank you.
If you like, so I'll be looking for an opportunity to book you in the coming year. Like, we don't live super close to each other, but sometimes I get lucky and she's around my neck of the woods. Yeah. But if you give me an option, I'm going to choose the sexiest option.
Good to know.
I just am because it's like, do I want more Erika in my life? Yes. Yes. All the way yes. So.
Well, and you put on the makeup, so why not?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And now we have to work on Nicole for when I come back to Florida. Because I did see someone's comment on Facebook.
That'd be Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh, was Melissa giving you guff?
Yeah.
Nicole?
Yeah. She does that.
I'm gonna say Melissa loves a good photo shoot.
Yeah, she does. She has some beautiful.
You know whose picture that I loved that I just saw is Teresa's. She's like, I don't know, in a coffee house or something, and the
Yeah.
client's back is and the wall's turquoise
Yeah.
behind her. It's like a perfect picture. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that photographer will never see this. She didn't particularly love that photographer.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't feel a magical connection and a super comfortable connection with that photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's some really, really beautiful images.
Yeah, that was great.
She would love to work with you.
I hope so.
Well,
I hope she brings like at least 3 different pairs of glasses to her shoot if she books one.
She will. It's Therese.
I want some of those, man. I was like, wait, did you have a different pair on yesterday? Yes. I want that.
They get them really cheap too. It's a place called, I think it's Zinnia. I can send
Yep.
you the link. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, she told me. I'm on it. My birthday is in a month. I'm gonna just order a few pairs.
Awesome. Well, Erika, thank you for making time to spend with us today. Thanks for sharing your experience.
No problem. I had fun.
I look forward
I think you always do, don't you?
Yeah, I try to. I did get called embarrassing this morning at drop off though. Cause I did like a back pump out of there. Because I was so happy that it wasn't a snow day. Because the roads are so icy here. Like, Mom, you're so embarrassing. It's like, yeah, but isn't it a good time?
All right. Everybody, thanks for coming and spending time with us. And gosh, we look forward to seeing y'all at the beach.
Yeah.
In the coming year. It's good. We're going to be at Beach Condo in less than 90 days.
I can't even believe it.
So.
I hope someone will take some cell phone pictures there.
If only we could get Erika there.
I know. Who has a camera that's going? Raven?
Yeah. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.